The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
The Paranormal View. The Paranormal View. The Paranormal View. Time now for the Paranormal View. The Paranormal View on the Para X Radio Network with your host, Henry Foister, Craig Rupp, and Jeffrey Gould. The Paranormal View.
Well, welcome everybody to the Paranormal View right here on the Para X Radio Network. Want to thank everybody for being here tonight with us, and for those from around the world, we appreciate each and every one of you for listening. If you're not here with us, you can do so. Come on over to para-x.com. Click on the show chat button on the right side of the page and click on the player button at the top of the page. And you will be right in here and able to private chat either Craig, Jeffrey, or myself with questions for our guest. And we have a wonderful guest tonight. And I'm going to let Jeffrey go ahead and introduce her, because I'm sure that he's got everything all ready for that, don't you, Jeffrey?
Yeah, I do. Hey, all. And don't mind me, I'm still fighting off a cough that, based on results, Henry must have given both of us at one point, which is really interesting because Henry and I haven't met in person yet. What's up, Craig?
I'm going to stop you for 1 second.
Go ahead.
I would like to announce, for those who don't know, somebody has a birthday tomorrow.
And
anybody know who that is?
Yeah, who is that?
The creepy doll? Oh, no. I'm guessing it's
Henry, we'd all like to wish you a happy birthday tomorrow.
Oh, well, thank you.
Happy birthday.
We'll celebrate after the show. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
I have got tons of birthday wishes from Facebook, and every time somebody's saying something to me, and I just want to thank everybody for that. Okay, Jeffrey, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say our lovely and talented guest, Karen Laven, who was a guest on our show last October, is an author and co-author of over 10 books. She's also an award-winning poet. And she's been an actress on stage, TV, cable, and feature films. She spent 7 years as a feature newspaper writer and a former radio DJ at Class X Radio, the Karen and Other Doug show. And Karen does stand-up comedy, which is why her books are so amusing to read. And on occasion, she does so in the northern Kentucky, Cincinnati region. And I'm sure she's had a lot of ghost hecklers. So welcome back, Karen.
Thank you, Jeffrey. By the way, your $5 is in the mail. That's one of the best intros I've ever gotten.
Oh, boy. Jeffrey's used to it by now, though.
This time I was ready for you.
I'm ready to go. I had a great time with you guys in October, and I'm ready to get back into it again.
Yes, tonight we're going to be talking about your book, Cincinnati Ghosts. Last time we talked about Dayton Ghosts. And tonight, because you had so much, we decided to break it up and have you back on to be able to talk about Cincinnati Ghosts. So we will be getting right into that. And I think with that, some of the things that people may not know, you do investigate, right?
I tag along.
You did tag along.
So she's bilingual too. Oh wait, that's
yeah. Yeah.
A minute. Okay.
But
I do. I've gone with several. When I do my books, I often get in touch with several of the groups and go along with them on some of their hunts and everything. But technically, I'm not a charter member, of any group. Although I'm especially fond of PINK, Paranormal Investigators of Northern Kentucky, and Mike Palmer heads that up. He's was my first connection with the first book with Cincinnati Ghosts, and he's just been a great supporter. And if I have questions that come up now, he's the one I go to. So I guess I'm an honorary member of Pink, which I love the color too. Okay.
And you have all the stories that's in your book. You have been to most of those places.
Yes. Yep. Like I told you guys before, as my husband will attest to, with all the mileage on our brand new car. It's like we've gone to California and back several times, up and down and up and down. I'm like, oh, I need one more shot. Just, yeah. Normally, normal people drive themselves, but my husband is a big part of it. I don't know if I made that clear last time, but he's just been fantastic. He navigates me all over the place. He helps with, procuring the people to interview. Also, he's interviewed some of them, and he's helped with the photos. So it's really been a joint effort.
Now, I'm sure that you're aware of, they've been having like the Mid-South Conference in Louisville every year.
Yes.
It may be held at a different place. Well, I won't say that. I'll say that there's going to be a conference that they're working on right now that's going to be up here at Poasttown School.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that would be wonderful. Weren't you? You were at the other one.
I was at Poasttown one time, yes.
Okay, yeah, I thought so. Yeah, that would be really neat to go to and be a part of that.
And so, with that, places that are reported to be haunted, which are in decay and unsafe to investigate, such as the Haywood Hospital.
Yeah.
How do you know what is haunting the hospital if you can't really, if it's not safe enough to actually go in and do an investigation?
I know by interviewing people. I know by talking to individuals that have gone in there when they admittedly say they should not have. So it is a warning because people can really get hurt,
Yes.
and or arrested. Because I believe one of the fellows I talked to, the police did kind of give him a hard time, so he's like, don't go in there. But they went in, so why not use what they told me? Correct?
Right.
As long as it's. And I talked to people that, like Hazelwood, I talked to people that were patients there, a nurse that was there that went back to retrieve, equipment and things like that. So I have it from pretty standard, sources without me having to go in there. I got the photo from the outside. That's the best I could do.
Yes, the book does have tons of pictures in the book. Now,
Love the pictures.
Right. With this hospital, though, other than it just in decay and being unsafe that way, there's all kinds of probably mold, mildew, and asbestos, and probably everything else.
Yeah, and I've been warned about that from pretty much everyone I talked to that did go into it, as a lark and a no-no and admit it was a no-no, said, oh my gosh, the asbestos was everywhere. The mold, half the ceiling, would be partially down in one of the rooms. And then, who knows, you could step where a part of the floor could give way. It is not safe to go in, and I do not advocate doing it. Absolutely not. You don't want to go. First of all, it's trespassing. And second of all, you really could get hurt.
It's true.
In a variety of ways. It's just not worth it. And hopefully, I keep checking up on this, you guys, and the latest I hear still is it's going to be made into apartments, but it is still sitting there. It's almost just like tempting everyone
Right.
That wants to go in there. They won't raise it to a parking lot, or it's kind of they haven't moved on, what they're going to do with it. Which it's hard when you're into ghost hunting, and plus I imagine if you live in the neighborhood. That could be kind of a bummer for a couple of reasons. If people are always there in the middle of the night trying to go in there and look in there, and, you get the dog bark and the kid woke up, there's just a bunch of issues with it. That could be kind of a bummer for a couple of reasons. If people are always there in the middle of the night trying to go in there and look in there, and, you get the dog bark and the kid woke up, there's just a bunch of issues with it. So I hope they do get it taken care of, because I'm sure even if they put it into apartments, like they said, I can't say I'm sure, but I'm pretty sure it will still stay, shall we say, interesting
Now,
for paranormal groups.
this place is located where?
And Maysville, Kentucky.
That's Maysville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
4th Street, by the way.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Just so you know.
Jeff is
Oh,
on
you
it.
been there, Jeff?
No, I'm just doing my job.
Oh, wait.
He knows his facts. I like that guy.
Hey, Jeff, you holding out on me?
Now, what is supposed to be haunting that hospital? What are some of the reports on?
Kumquats, no. Yes, it's ghosts. It's like, but I hear a lot. Well, like one of the fellows I talked to had been a patient there, and this is obviously he was I can't believe I was going to say this. A patient there before it was closed down. Obviously. Anyway, so he was in the room, and a nurse came in, and he lived in the town. Maysville's not that huge, and this was back years ago, and he knew he didn't recognize her at all. You know, he said she was fine, she was nice, whatever, and then left, and he said, now, who was she? And they said, no nurse was in here. So this has been going on before it was abandoned. So, I mean, who knows what exact type of things. I've heard people say mothers with babies, sadly, crying and weeping, holding their baby, crying, weeping. I've heard of, ghosts of nurses, doctors. Several people have heard the heart machines going when there's really no way it can. There's no electricity there. You know, these are the people that really regret going in there when they shouldn't. But, I do have their accounts. So I think it's just one of those areas for whatever reason, and perhaps it's even prior to the building of the building itself, prior to being erected, that maybe something on the land or something was a little off, because it just seems like it's consistently had issues with people seeing things, feeling things, and it certainly hasn't stopped.
Now, how long has that not been used?
I believe since Jeffrey.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at that far. I was making a joke in the chat. Room. Sorry.
Okay. Hey, we're over here, Jeff. Okay.
True. I was just pointing out that if the place is done into apartments, asbestos is a good way to get a good turnaround in renters.
Yeah, hopefully they would get it all up. I believe it's the 80s, like 83, I think. There's still clocks on the wall. If well, I don't even know if you can see it through them anymore. I was taking pictures of, from the outside a few years ago, and I know the ivy was super thick then, but, I think it was about like 83, something like that. So it's been deserted for a while.
Now, just to let you know, Karen, seems like within the past couple of months on our show, a lot of times we start hearing sounds, and it's not coming from any of us. We've heard typewriters going when, and I don't mean somebody pecking on a keyboard on their computer. I mean one of the old-timey typewriters. Mm-hmm. We've heard other types of different sounds and everything, so you might want to keep your ear open in case we hear something tonight.
I will.
There's something going on right now, actually. I keep hearing something.
So what are you hearing?
It almost sounds like
now,
plastic.
Plastic?
Almost sounds like plastic being banged up against something. Like an empty milk jug. That's weird. I don't know. Just keep your ears up. What are you doing, Karen?
Well, Craig, I'm doing plastic against an empty milk jug.
I knew it. All right. There.
Good heavens. This show, you never know. That's what I love, you guys. I never know what I'm going to hear. That's the first time in all my interviewing for books that I've heard someone say a strange sound was plastic against a milk jug, and I won't forget it. Why can't they just moan and groan like normal ghosts?
Like normal, yeah.
It's the best way I can describe it. I don't know.
Leave us some good EVPs or something.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Or at least be drinking milk or something, whatever.
Yeah, give us
Karen,
something tangible.
You're aware of Robert the Doll, right?
Robert.
The Doll.
The Doll. In Key West, Florida. The Haunted Doll. There was a show on Parax. It's during the Calder with Mahler books, and she has interviewed the caretaker of Robert in the museum in which he is. And in one of the shows, while the woman was in the museum by herself speaking to Marla on the phone, in the background you can hear a male speaking, and you can hear the word Robert.
Oh boy! And, that freaked me out.
And we, like they say, we've had weird sounds in the background of our show, so we don't know if it's just Skype trying to mess with us or if there's something else.
And
The only thing is, Jeffrey, it was actually something that said Robert instead of the milk jug.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Just like, and by the way, creepy doll things, I can't handle it. Even that commercial now for like the USPS or whatever it is, and they want the doll
where a
taken
little
away.
clown.
That's serious.
I haven't seen that.
Oh yeah, that little clown doll looking thing. Oh, that's creepy.
Oh, now I have to find that, don't I?
I do. It's funny. The doll moves by itself, and the postman's even freaked out. It's cute.
Yeah, he starts saying something to you. He goes, whoa.
It's moved 5 feet closer to the door. Yeah, that would be a whoa moment.
Hey, wait a minute. Creepy doll postman? I'm getting deja vu.
Oh, you have to see it. Watch it on one of them football games. I'm sure they'll have that commercial on there. So.
And that's for the Postal Service or FedEx or what?
FedEx, I believe it is.
Oh, because they dropped the commercials where they just toss stuff over the fence, I guess. Oh, wait, that was a viral.
That's reality.
They toss
Yeah,
it. Huh?
that's-
Yeah.
That's live.
Now, there's in your book you had this one. It's a fascinating place. I've been to it 3 or 4 times. It's a castle that's in Loveland.
Oh, the lovely castle.
Yeah,
Chateau
called
La Roche.
Chateau Roche. Yeah.
Yeah, it is amazing, isn't it, Henry?
Yes, I've been. I was only there one time after I started into the paranormal. So I actually walked around with a recorder when I was there and didn't get anything. But we've had them guys on one of our shows once. I don't know, about 1.5 years ago, probably.
Oh, I bet that was interesting. They have a lot of stories.
Oh yeah, and they say it's haunted. So what did you come away with?
I came away with thinking it's a really amazing. Well, first of all, Sir Harry was an amazing person. I mean, to even come up with the concept and build that and do it in his own innovative, green ways way back then, and to do it for the Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts, they're all the same in my view. Anyway, and, I think it was an amazing place to walk into, even if, like, Henry, when you went several times and, you weren't into the paranormal, it's worth going just to experience it. It's on a beautiful setting. It's gorgeously built. And I did not, personally, let me think. I don't think I caught anything in the sense of, anomalies in photographs or EVPs or anything, but I did get a sense of, I believed what I was being told. It was said so. They just, certain things would bring things up, like how the ghosts would play with the game board. If you did some of the pieces of the game board at night and then you went to bed and you got up, they'd be all moved around, and how they move stuff around, and they would just say it so matter-of-factly, and they have no problem just based on the site itself and its connection with the scouts, to get people to come in and go through. So, and I mean, especially when he said, Sir Joe said that he heard Sir Harry's voice, who is the fellow that built it, and that what he heard clear as a bell, and I think was recorded by his daughter, was "eat no pork." I don't know how anyone could come up with that, except maybe Craig. You know what I'm saying?
That's just wrong.
That's just wrong.
You guys, you see what I mean? It's so random and odd. I had to believe it. And I'm like, well, do you eat pork? And he goes, well, yeah. Okay. The one warning he gets from his boss, his beloved, this man he knew for 20-some years, eat no pork, whatever you do. And, he goes and has, bacon. That's like, you can't make this stuff up.
But that is a neat place just to go look. If you get online, look up Chateau La Roche. It's a castle that was built by the Miami River.
Yeah.
Lovelandcastle.com. You can go there and see pictures of it. It's all made out of rock from the river banks right there by the Miami River. And this guy built it over years.
Yep.
By himself. I'm sure he would have help here and there. But the whole thing is put together that way. And it's a neat place just to go into. So
It's
Oh, the pictures are amazing, and just the name, the name they gave it, Chateau La Roche,
Well,
all Frenchy and stuff.
the guy had spent some time in France and seen castles, and when he come back here, he wanted to build one like those castles, and that's how it come to be. So,
yeah, and what's interesting about him? He was pronounced dead back, I believe, in France, somewhere over there, you guys. I'm really accurate here, but hello, I'm tired. So he was pronounced dead, and I think it was like a day later or something. I am not kidding. He wasn't. They went like, oh, I guess he's not. So this guy was really something kind of from the get-go, which sort of adds credence to, you'd kind of figure if any place was going to be haunted, they believe he's haunting it, but also some children that died in a fire, sadly, years prior and things like that. So there seems like there's several possible entities there, and it's an amazing story to get all wrapped up in. It's like a Stephen King book that you get to go, walk into, if you want to.
now, you guys got any more questions on the castle?
Well, not on the castle. Henry, you just stole my first two questions. So, but before you go any farther, I just wanted to ask Karen, when you, quote, tag along, what kind of equipment do you take with you besides your camera? What's your favorite?
No, I mean, I have a recorder. I had the regular, the tape ones. When
Microcassette?
Yes, back when we used the real tape things. And then the digital for the Ohio book. So I had that, and mostly just my wherewithal, and just, writing down what you thought, talking, and like I said, again, it helps to, I think it's underestimated how important it is to write down what you're feeling. I mean, a good old pencil and paper, and just sitting there going, I feel whatever, I feel like, kind of like, ugh, or good, or this doesn't feel. I think a lot of times the technology can just kind of overmass what good old basic, human, just, pen and paper, writing down what you're feeling, what you think is happening, what you feel about it. Now, the house that I went into with Pink in Middletown, Ohio, I just felt it was creepy. But just creepy. I mean, there's other places I felt were creepy that, were not, as far as I know, haunted or anything. I did not feel like it was, I wouldn't say I went, oh, this is definitely, haunted. My husband and I did not feel that at all. Like I said, it was a daytime hunt. I don't know if we talked about that before, but it was during the daytime, which was rare. But they said it was more active than the people there, and that's when they'd let us in. And I got an EVP on my little old regular tape. Actually, it was from my days at the Wright County Journal-Press as a reporter when I would, do news stories. And I got my own EVP. Pink had their own equipment going, and they got some phenomenal EVPs. But they didn't get the one I got, and I didn't get the one they got, and it was at the same time.
Wow.
So, yes.
Wow.
So it was fantastic. But also, too, I learned a big lesson that you just don't know why. A lot of times I think people think if you're going to go, we're going to go ghost hunting and we're going to hear this and this is good, and then the footsteps and all this, the odds are you're not. I mean, on most of them, you're just not. I was shocked. I'm playing my thing back, writing my book, I'm at my computer, and I hear, that EVP and, can't find bugs. And I'm like, my heart stopped. I was like, oh my God, that was just an amazing thing. So I think a lot of this stuff comes from people think it'll be like Hazewood feeling, or, or this, or you'll actually hear it while it happens, where most of the time it's, like you guys know from the shows and everything in your own experience, you find it after. If you find anything at all, so many times there's nothing. There's no photographic evidence, there's no EVPs, but there could just be a sense, or someone could say, I know I felt touched, or, I got cold, or I felt sick. It all plays in.
I've always felt sad when I see books like yours and such, and I love the cover where you sort of give the impression of one of the sightings of the woman in white in the woods and all, is that there are so many photos, and it's like, oh darn, they didn't happen to catch any ghost photos themselves to publish in their own book.
Yeah, and you know what? The odds are you're not gonna. To be really honest, it's super. I mean, I'm not even going to go with the orb thing. I'm not even going to get into that. But it's to really get something like, holy macanoli, that does not happen often. I felt like, now I can't put my EVP that I got that's documented and verified, by every, the people, there were 2 ghost hunting groups with me then. I can't put that in the book. I can say what happened, but you guys, I can't put the audio thing into a book unless it's Kindle or whatever the heck. You guys know what I mean. So it's like certain things you can say I felt this way or whatever, but the odds of getting photographic evidence, especially there's just so many variables. You guys know what I'm talking about. A lot of stuff play into it.
Absolutely.
A lot of it can be it can be very skeptical, and looking upon it and everything. But I think you do what you can. I would say for me, the best photographic evidence I got was the Black Mariah in Dayton Ghosts in the Air Force Museum. That to me was amazing, and I did show it to several groups and they said yes, it's amazing and whatever. And that I feel I really got it. I caught it, and I didn't even know it was going to be there. So that was really cool. I wish they all could be that way. I wish I could go to every site and have wonderful things like that happen, but it's so hit and miss, and mostly miss by most people.
That's true. People don't realize when you go out investigating that most of the time you're not really going to catch much.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true. That's why you know what it is? Has to be a labor of love.
That's true.
I really believe that, and it's like that's why I go ghost hunting with a group. People, I'm old, okay? It's like when I told my son about, I was going to be on tonight, he goes, well, what time is on? It's 8 to 10. He goes, oh, that's way past your bedtime.
That's just not right.
Yes. So that's just to tell you guys. And obviously we know that most ghost hunts haven't even started yet.
Oh, yeah. And
but that's a big fable because you can get just as much stuff at noon as you can at midnight.
I did get that. I was so excited with the day ghost hunt. Well, why do you think I picked that Middletown house? Well, they wanted the day. I am so in. I could stay awake. And I agree with that. But I think also for the night camera thing or whatever, they have their reasons, and then they have the hour of 2 or 3, whatever it is. But I concur that I've had you guys, most stuff that's happened to me has happened, not in the middle of the night. I've had tons of stuff daytime, just personal experiences. So it's not like they're like, well, we're sleeping during the day.
That's true.
It's not like that. I agree.
That's why they call it a ghost shift. Oh, wait. Well, actually, my brother and friends in a house that I used to live in that had at least 1 or 2 entities only experienced them during the day. I don't think we ever my brother had a negative experience at night once, but he saw a woman in black pass by his room when we first moved in, and then later I had a visiting friend from New Hampshire who was very sensitive, and she didn't know about anything about the house, hadn't had any activity in a long time, and I happened to I was right there, and she said, is anyone home but beyond us? Because somebody's walking around on the 2nd floor. And I said, oh, that's probably just our ghosts.
See, it's absolutely true. I think it makes for a good TV, and I think a lot of it's been hyped, in books and whatever. I mean, you guys know if you're reading one of those kind of books and whatever, and it's nighttime, you're in bed, everyone else is asleep, and you're reading about ghosts. It's just that much, it just adds to the ambiance. But yes, I'm with you, Jeffrey. It's all through the day or whatever. When I had the issues when I was babysitting that child in Minnesota, a lot of the babysitting times were daytime, and we heard the footsteps constantly and voices during daytime, tons. So it's all the energy's all around us as far as I'm concerned, and it all happens whenever. If they can get more, I'm sorry I'm not more like maybe Henry, you are, or Craig, but if they get more solid evidence, I don't know, at the middle of the night, or there's something with that. I know that Michael told me from Pink, there's some reason about with, I don't think it's a photography, but something with the video thing, the night cam or something that they feel.
Night shot?
Something with the the infrared, whatever they
Infrared.
feel that really gives them a little bit of an edge, whereas in the daytime that does not work.
Well,
So that otherwise, 'cause it's like,
it does work in the daytime.
okay,
Well,
Well,
even
maybe
with,
the FLIR would work the same night and day.
Karen, get on my Facebook page. I took a picture in Gettysburg about 4 or 5 years ago at Little Round Top. Check it out. There's a man standing at the lower left of the photo that was not there when I took the picture.
okay, now I don't want to push this off. Hang on. All right. I know that I could.
This is what I do when everybody else is waiting. Oh, we got to wait till it gets dark. Oh, because that's the only time the ghost comes out. Well, I'm going to be over here taking pictures. So,
Hey,
yeah.
did you have it up a little? Oh, wait a minute here. Is this on your? Okay, where? It's on your Facebook, right? The cover thing. I'm sorry.
no.
Of the newfangled thing.
Yeah, the timeline thing. My kids talked me into that.
I hate that thing.
So do I. I don't understand it.
Hit
Photos.
it's in one of them.
Yeah.
It's all by itself.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Oh no, here we go. She's old. Let it go.
Yeah.
it's in there. Jeff tried to find a picture earlier. Did you ever find that, Jeff?
Oh yes, I did, and
Okay,
I
see,
thought it was.
it's in there, Karen.
You guys, this is embarrassing.
Now, I
Should I
want to.
pretend I see it?
It's red. You can't. It's like a pinkish red. It's in infrared. So Can't-
You know what's throwing me off, Craig, is your newfangled timeline thing. I know how to look.
just
I sound like a matey more. Okay. I'll trust you. And it was during the day.
it was during the day.
Oh,
Yes.
you can look after the show. How's that
Yeah.
sound? All right.
And I still won't find it. Okay.
Now, I want to get one more in here before we take a break because it's already break time. But the food, or I should say, is the food good at Habits Cafe? There was a place, I guess, where the mafia used to run and hang out. So what's the food like and what's haunting the place?
Okay. I didn't let my husband eat, and he won't let me forget it.
Uh-oh.
All right. We got the tour. We went downstairs. We went all over the place and everything. And we heard they're the best burgers, you know. And he still periodically, he's like, you owe me Habits. We're going to go back and get a burger. I hear the food is absolutely fabulous. And, I loved the ambiance, so to speak, because it was not, even in the basement, I took a couple shots, and one of them, and they were right in succession, one was completely black, which was odd. That's never happened to me before. And that is where, yes, the mafia was there. Actually, it was the Irish mafia, and someone did die there. And, and children have seen things. And the guy that ran it, not the owner necessarily, but his son saw a fellow all in white levitating off the floor.
Wow.
And then the fellow that worked for this guy, the owner, saw a lot of stuff happen in the basement, which typical. But this fellow saw people upstairs in the bar area, which was very interesting. And he said, what he saw was a fellow with a baseball cap over the face, and if you really tried to look, you could not see a face, and would just flippantly, go around. So I think that place is for real. I think they're for real as far as food goes, and probably, paranormally speaking.
And where's that located?
That's in Oakley.
It's in Oakley. Okay.
Yep, Oakley, Ohio.
All right.
Right across from the 20th century.
I think I don't know if I got a question on that one yet or not, but we can get to it later on. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Now, I think we're going to go ahead and take us a break. And tonight, I'm going to honor a woman who just died, Etta James.
Oh, that was so tragic.
Yeah, so I will be doing that. Now, Jeff, which one you guys go first?
Craig usually.
Okay, Craig.
Okay, what?
Take us out to break.
You can't yell at me for not being able to find the
All right, I guess we got to go. Thanks, everybody, for listening to the Paranormal View on the ParaX Radio Network. We'll be right back after this break.
Don't go away. The Paranormal View will be right back.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Paranormal View right here on the ParaX Radio Network. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Chat room is just full, and if you're not here and you're listening from somewhere around the world, come on over and join us. para-x.com. Click on the show chat button on the right side of the page and click on the player button at the top of the page. And you'll be in with all these wonderful people. You can interact with us, and you'll be able to ask questions by private chatting either Craig, Jeffrey, or myself with questions for our guest, Karen Laven. And we're talking with her about her book, Cincinnati Ghosts. Welcome back, Karen.
Thanks, Henry. And I loved your music selection during the break.
Oh, well, thank you.
Fabulous.
I usually try and get some of the old ones sometimes.
Wait a minute. What are you implying?
You don't have to be old to like the oldies.
Is that an album title? Okay. Yeah. All right.
I don't know. It could be, though.
But I am. Okay.
Might be a book title for long.
That's true.
Now, I do notice that a lot of the places that you have was similar to the last one. They all kind of have food and ghosts. And you went to Waynesville, and up there's this place called the Hamel House, which I guess has food and a ghost. What all happens there?
That was actually really cool because I emailed her. It's like a bed and breakfast thing. Yeah, with food, Henry and Doug, my husband. That's why I wanted to go there. But I emailed her and I was like, could we come? Would you talk? I've heard these things, and she kind of was no. And then she, I think, emailed me back and said, okay, as long as you respect the entities that are here. And I said, of course I will. Now I believe that she told me that the ghost hunters Taps had asked to come, and she had said no.
Really?
So and this is prior to me going there. She was very protective. Let's just put it this way. Well, first of all, Waynesville, Ohio is incredible. Even if you aren't an antiquer, as Henry says, if you like food and walking around and seeing a beautiful place, that's a place to go. Plus, it's super haunted. Several of my sites, that I got were from there. But Hamel House, the ghosts there, she did believe, went back, probably to the 1800s. The place had been around a while. What she had happened to her when she came in, I believe it was more like she needed healing. She was going to make this into something and redo it and everything. And one of the things I remember most clearly is, of course, the maids had issues. Doors that they just unlocked would be locked. Whatever. Things were going on like that. The normal stuff, the footsteps. But I remember her telling me she was doing a gift shop, and it was late at night. She was bent over. She was exhausted. She had to get back there, in a few hours anyway. And she said she's leaning down, bent over, doing something, and a wreath flew off from 15 feet away. She showed us where, and hit her in the behind. And this was in the middle of the night. It was like, oh, there could be, something here. And again, the basement was one of those areas where not everyone wanted to go down, but I think overall it was a place where people love going. There's a specific room, Jeffrey, I don't remember the room number, but I'm sure you know. where people ask to go in, the ghost hunters, because that is the one that is absolutely rumored to be, for sure, something's going on in there.
Ah.
Also, what's very interesting is cat hair is found everywhere, and she's not allowed to have cats because of the laws there, because she also serves food or whatever. Whatever the thing is, she's not allowed, and they find cat hair everywhere, and many people have said, I love your cat. And she doesn't have one.
And there's no cat there.
There's no cat. But the cat will be seen on the top of the landing, and she'll have, the maids are like, well, what is going on with this cat hair that we have to clean up all the time? So it's a fabulous place. It's really cute. It's got a lovely little veranda thing out the front and whatever. And like I say, for whatever reason, if you're into antiquing or ghosts or whatever, it's worth going there.
So how do they convince the health department they don't really have a living cat?
Well, I would imagine they pop by. I know that. I'm pretty sure they do that. And, you would, where's the litter box? That kind of thing. And also,
Right.
I don't think they've had people say, hey, health department, now someone might come over and say, I am not responsible. Just like the thing at the beginning of the show. They've had people, actually now it's hitting me, in the dining room, this one woman, she said, was pulling her chair out and a cat was on it. She felt the weight, and then it was like it jumped off into nowhere in the dining room. So, this phantom cat is a biggie there. It's probably a couple, yeah.
Even living cats do that. They jump off and it's like they went nowhere.
Exactly.
I've got one that hides, and sometimes you can't find him.
Yeah, don't you wish you could do that? I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
People could do
I had
that.
a cat.
All right,
I had a cat back east years ago who hated her collar, and occasionally she would get it off. And one time she got it off, and the cats never went out. And we thought, well, we're about to move. We'll find it when we move. We cleaned all the furniture out and cleaned every inch of the place of dust, and we never found the collar. I don't know what she did with it.
Well, cats are kind of creepy. I love them, but I do think they have one little hairy foot into the nether region.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Animals, yep.
Yeah, well,
Now, did you guys say something?
I was going to say, if they seem that they're looking at something, they probably are.
That's true. Ours will sit there and be looking. I'll turn around and look. What are you looking at? Because I don't see anything, and they'll sit there intently stare at something.
Well, I've heard.
Oh, you're being watched, Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it over and over. They can see, obviously, as children and dogs, like Henry said too. But who are we to say that they're not just idiots and staring at a speck of dust? I'm just saying. We always want to make it more grandeur, But no, obviously, I think they can see a lot of stuff that maybe we don't want to see. Oh, also, I've heard on the cat front, and I don't remember someone. I think it was from when I interviewed Maysville about the Women's Center. The woman had a house, but she was talking about when she was in San Diego, and she said that a woman told her, make sure before you move into this house, a psychic or whatever told her that you have to have a cat with you. She's like, I don't have a cat. Well, you have to have a cat because I think something's wrong in there and something's evil, and you'll know when the cat dies.
Oh, really?
Serious. And she got a cat, and the cat,
Cat died. Oh.
That made me sick.
I'd have been moving right on out then, or I probably wouldn't have moved in to start with.
Well, isn't that uplifting? Okay. That's what I'm here for, folks. But I'm bummed.
I understand if you got a cat for protection, but not just like, go ahead, honey, go die. All right.
I miss my cat so much, but it's not funny. But you guys know what I'm saying. But
I know. I would hate to say, well, I can't get a cat if you tell me it's gonna die. It's not the same as bringing a canary down into the mines or something,
Well, if you're a canary lover, it is.
Well,
Jeff, are you talking lion, or what kind of cat do you get for protection? Seriously.
No. The idea that a cat can see. There are cats that will hiss when they see ghosts and such like that.
That's because they're
you need
scared.
a cat for protection.
They'll tell you.
I'm saying as a warning. as a warning signal, as it were. And to watch it disappear into thin air.
I think we're telling people, don't get a cat unless you really love them and then really watch over them. And if your place is haunted, especially don't. Get a poodle.
Yeah, right. Get a dog.
The thing was, we had a cat and a dog in the houses, and we had entities right and left, and yet they were like, yeah, whatever. They didn't care.
I think it depends upon, I know this woman said that the San Diego home or whatever, bad vibe. A lot of stuff went on there, and and she I don't know if she rented it first or whatever. I didn't put it in one of my books because it didn't relate to my area, but the story was fascinating, and I know that she did get the cat, and it did, and the place was not, habitable.
Why didn't you just say, "Oh, evil? Maybe I'll go somewhere else"? Right now, she sounds like a character in a movie saying, "Oh, well, I'll just move right in." No, you go the other say, I think I'll pass in this house. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's what I'd done. No, thank you.
And what if I say when we leave, we're getting a cat? All right, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Now, you also had one of your stories in there is about something that I think it was like 2 weeks ago. This place was also featured on Ghost Hunters. And in your book, it's called Roller Coasters and Flying Rounds. And they're talking about Kings Island there.
Yeah, that is rumored big time to have a lot of stuff going on. There's rumored to be someone that's buried around there that kind of gets up and walks around a woman. I believe it was Sarah is her name. And the Tower of Terror or whatever, the boy that sadly... I don't even think it was that long ago. I think it was the 80s. They were there for high school graduation, and he fell off the tower. And they believe he's hanging around there. And people that have worked there things have kind of happened. What's really interesting is like rocks or whatever will be thrown at the people that are running the rides and things like that, like from out of nowhere. And it seems like in more ways than one, if you want to go and have an adventure, that would be the place to go.
Now, did you get to go out there and talk to people and kind of investigate it also, or?
Did not investigate it. I went out there. I took, I think, the photo from the road or whatever. Of course, when I go there, it's closed for something. Hello, you guys have met me. That's my luck. But I talked to people that had worked there. And it just seems like, I really think there is a creepy thing going on. There's a creepy vibe, and it's, of course, though, you're in this thing where you have all this, mostly, let's be honest, teenagers, the energy, right? And you're getting into, stuff that, who knows where that kind of, some of the stuff, like I said, the black ring, whatever, there's all this pent-up stuff going on with teens, as we know anyway, so who knows how it's all connected, but I know it thrives on it. I believe it thrives on the energy of the kids that go out there.
Now, I do know that in their investigation in the restaurant that they have out there, they did get a couple of good EVPs. I thought that was a really neat thing because they was fairly plain. You could understand what they was saying.
That doesn't surprise me. I didn't see the episode, but it doesn't surprise me. Like I say, you put so much energy from, teens and excitement and the thrill and all this, I would imagine, although, I'm not sure. I would imagine that Disneyland has its share of Disney World and all this. There's something with the teen spirit, just the whole vibe of the place. Plus, sadly, I think people have perished at most of the parks. Stuff happens, periodically. So, and it's the site, frankly, was not, when we drove there, it was closed, was not really, threatening looking or anything like that. I really wanted to get back where they say that one burial places, but we were unable to do that. So, it's
well, if you're
cool.
going to Disneyland to see a ghost, go to the Haunted Mansion. That's a guarantee.
I bet you it's anywhere but there.
Actually, no. I was doing some research on that. I was reading up on that just the other day, and apart from there being just the weirdness of the park in general at night, that a lot of employees have experienced stuff in the Haunted Mansion when everything has been off, everybody has been out, and there are people who will only go in pairs.
Really?
Because there are a couple of actual entities in the Haunted Mansion now.
They're very, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if I was an entity hanging around Disneyland or Disney World, I would not stay in the Haunted Mansion. I have more creativity than that, people.
Haunt the tiki room or something?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, whatever. Something fun, like the thing where Cinderella hangs. Whatever. Just something not so predictable.
I don't remember her hanging herself in the story, but I could be wrong.
No, I think you're probably right.
Now, out there close to Kings Island, there's this other place where they used to make cartridges, and it's called the Old Peter's Cartridge Factory. There was an explosion there, and there was quite a few people killed there at one time. And it's not too far from where Kings Island is. It's in the same general area.
And the same chapter in the book. Oh, wait.
Yeah. But you also went out there and talked to some people who's also using some or renting some places in the old building or close to it.
Well, I talked to an artist that was, let's just say, reluctant, not a reluctant artist, he was a fantastic artist, but reluctant to talk to me. It took me a few tries. And you guys, this place is we went there in, early afternoon, and it was freaky. Windows out of all these buildings. We did not know where we were. What he said basically was, you drive back until you feel like if you go anymore, you're going to fall into the river or go into a ditch, and I'm there. Okay, and that's basically what it was. He's an artist. He taught classes there. I do not know if he's still there. I imagine so. He was a painter, artist, and like I said, he taught classes there, and he was just like, well, go ahead and come in, and, I'll talk to you. Like I said, it took some tries. And he was very, I've heard this, he said, and that, but I really haven't seen so much. And here I am, he was basically, I believe, alone in the building. There's a ton of buildings. A ton. Well, I don't know, 5 or 6 huge, gigantic things. And I think RCA Records was in one of them years ago. But he was not, he's not saying, oh, it's like this and it's terrible. Oh, once he'll go, oh, well, maybe the lights went, whatever, but it's not, but you wanted to come back here. And I'm like, well, thank you. I appreciate it. And so Doug and I were there, and we talked to him for maybe, I don't know, an hour. And left, and he was just like, whatever. I guess I didn't give you so much or anything. I went, no, I just want the truth. And I took some shots and, photos and went around. We just wanted to get out of there alive. It was very torn up and messed up. And he emailed me, not that long after we'd been there. And I was really shocked to get it, because he was like, okay, you left, and maybe an hour passed, and weird feeling kind of going on here, and the painting that he was working on flew off the easel, which had never happened before. And he was a little bit freaked out, and he said, there might be something, what he kind of thought was that, me being out there talking to him about it, and, just the whole sort of thing sort of dredged it up and got him going. And I'm like, well, keep telling me if more stuff happens. He's like, yeah, right. But I didn't hear back. I mean, he was so reluctant. And so, I loved it. I got chills because, it wasn't just my impression of him, but my husband's as well, because we were both there. And it was like, you could just tell he really didn't really think it was really anything. And that email, you could tell. I don't know if I wrote it verbatim, but it was really cool to get that. For him to say, you know what, something happened with you being here, because he's never had that happen before. And, so that was really cool. But it's not one of those places that people want to go. You can go, to Kings Island, meander around, and go at night, and it's all legal, have a good time, and see if you hear anything or whatever, and go to the restaurant. But this place, back in there, you can't really go. It's too dangerous, again, unless you're going to take art classes from this fellow. Otherwise, I'd say, you really can't. But, it's a very interesting area. It seems
And of course, if he's an artist, you could just say you're canvassing the area.
Oh, Lord. I need a break.
Oh,
You gotta warn me.
We're coming close.
Karen, that's one of the reasons why I like to go into a room and then just sit there and talk for a while and then leave a recorder or camera running after you leave, because you never know what's going to happen.
Yes.
After you leave.
And I do think too, the big thing that, and I know we all talked about it last time, was when I was on, the respect. I didn't go I respect all that is living and all that is maybe, not still earthly, body bound, but I respect all forms of life, in quotations, and, energy. And I think, I really do believe that it makes a difference to the people on this earth and to the people that are, maybe zipping around in another kind of form. It's the respect, and it's the, you never know. And being open, and I always ask, before I go into a place, if I'm going to interview someone, I say, if it's possible, I'm not here to bother you, I look nuts, and I am. And get that out of the way and say, if you could show me something photographically or, EVP-wise, that would be lovely. Otherwise, if not, that's okay. I'm just no, I'm not, I never, you don't want to go and go, oh, this is, I've heard too many times from people just, oh, I know nothing's here and you're full of whatever. And they taunt entities, potential entities, or, whatever, the world, and they end up, in trouble. Things happen that, aren't so pleasant. So I think it's important to really, keep grounded. All I know is we don't really know, if that's fair enough.
That's true. Yes.
Yep.
Now, it's coming up on break time, but I want to do one more place before we do break. But before we do that, I want to thank everyone for listening from around the world. We're back. We got listeners tonight from the U.S., UK, Canada, Belgium, China, and 5 others, wherever they're at. So I want to thank you all for taking the time to listen. If you want, come over to para-x.com and click on the show chat button on the right side of the page and the player button at the top of the page, and you'll be in with all these wonderful people. And you can also interact and ask questions of our guest by private chatting either Craig, Jeffrey, or myself. So we're getting out there tonight.
Those are my aunts and uncles, but...
oh, is that what they are? Oh.
Hello! Okay.
Got your Chinese aunts and uncles, and in Belgium and everything.
You name it.
Of course, if they're in China, they just could be disoriented.
Now, there's this place, and you can tell us where it's located at and everything that goes on there and why it's like this. But it's called Philip's Folly. And haunted, is this a private home, or is it a museum, or do they allow investigations in it?
Are we talking now?
Yep, we're talking.
Oh, we're going to break.
Oh, we'll go to break after this one.
That was just a threat.
All right, okay.
Well, Karen, I'm glad I'm not the only one who's confused on the whole break thing. Thank you.
I'll tell you when.
Oh, well, okay, I thought you did. All right. Anyway, it's in Maysville, and I believe, I have to go from what I remember, because, I'm old. It was an underground railroad place, and they did have, I think, they rented out part of it, but I know that I interviewed a woman who worked there. She sold candles and sundries down there, and she, there was lots of stuff going on there, and even people that, when you talk to, well, I heard this, and she would have people come in and say, gosh, they were really affected there. People that were, they felt, I guess the Underground Railroad thing, I can't think of his name, the fellow, though. He does tours around the area, beautiful. He's very, very well known, and he's spectacular at it. But there's many people have felt the feeling of being enslaved, being afraid, just unhappy, and very frightened. And that place is amazing looking. I did not get to go inside. I took the photo outside, and I got a little bit of the backyard from, one of the views. But it's definitely a place that, deserves respect. And I do believe still there are tours going on there, and it's definitely something to go to. I think the history there is so amazing. You need to be an English professor to do it justice.
One thing. Go ahead. Jeff, Craig, one of you guys saying something?
I didn't say anything. I heard somebody say something.
I heard somebody talking too, but I don't know who it was.
I thought Craig was starting to say something, and then it sounded like a weird echo, and then I didn't know.
Well, anyway, you've got a lot of photos with the different stories in your book. And there's some of them where them places, just by looking at the photos, gives you the creeps. And I'm not so sure that I'd really want to be running into them. But
well, there's 3 I'd like to talk about when we get back from break that I'd like to spend the night in sometimes.
Well, you just have to jump right in there and slug your way in, Jump in or say, I got one.
I got 3.
Okay. I'll tell you what we're going to do right now, though. We're going to go take a break.
See, I knew it.
It's Jeffrey's turn.
I got 3.
Okay. I'll tell you what we're going to do right now, though. We're going to go take a break.
See, I knew it.
It's Jeffrey's turn. So I'm going to let you take us out, Jeff.
Well, you're listening to the Paranormal View on para-x.com with tonight's wonderful returning guest, author and psychic criminal profiler Karen Laven, discussing her awesome book, Cincinnati Ghosts. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back, especially those people out there in the 5 others.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Paranormal View right here on Para-X Radio. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Chat room is full, and for those that are listening from around the world, we must have a couple 100,000 out there somewhere. So welcome, and if you'd like, come on over to para-x.com and join the fun.
Because even if the chat room is full, there's always
room for one more, yes. So come on over. And tonight, I want to welcome back here Karen Laven. And she's always a great guest. We love having her on. And tonight we're talking to her about her book, Cincinnati Ghosts. And they're not all from Cincinnati, but from around the Cincinnati area, which is a pretty good size area.
Yeah, and I kind of expanded it.
Yeah.
You know how you someone tells you one thing and another group another, and then I kind of ended up like I told you guys in Maysville, which a little further south than I think Schiffer would have liked, and then up to Waynesville. But it was like I just could go all over. There's just when you hear a good,
But you were smart enough to cover yourself with that by calling it actually Cincinnati Ghosts and Other Tri-State Haunts.
Yeah, thank you for pointing out that I knew how to cover my Yahoo.
Now, I suppose that since you've done that book, does a lot of people tell you about different places that are haunted?
Yes.
And I suppose you almost have enough now to be able to go investigate for another book.
Yeah, and actually, I'm working on Ohio Ghosts right now, but it's really interesting because in a lot of ways, what's affected me and my husband more than anything was we hear people talking about just like in their own homes, things that are going on that maybe no one else, if I do a talk, okay, I've spoken at Victory of Light and, Rotaries, whatever, different talks, and it's so interesting when people come up after everyone, if they want a book or not, and just to say, this has been happening here, and, I'm afraid I've had so many people, you guys, say, I don't want the ghost to leave.
Right. Well, if they aren't really
ghosts that actually clean the dishes. People wake up the next morning, the dishes are all done.
Really?
Well, tell them to come to my. Okay, here's my address. Okay. Yeah, I don't have them, but yes, I mean I heard of one kind of actually was sort of at a semi-public place in Ohio that the woman cleaned which I was like, oh Lord, if anyone needs that ghost, it's me. But it's really interesting how protective people are of their ghosts. And a lot of times, people, when they do come up and talk to me, it's about their house, or they grew up in a house that this, happened. And most often, the entity is not aggressive or bothersome. It's more like comforting, which I never would have thought when I started on this journey writing these books. I never would have thought to realize how it's almost like, to some of these people, it's their family. But I don't go out and, I'm not going to go to their house and, it's just not possible, because most of the time I try when I'm doing things to go to places where people can go to and experience themselves, if at all possible. Otherwise it has to be freaky scary, just really, set in stone, amazing, incredible evidence of the whatever. Now, like with, like Mansfield, reformatory, people can go there. Right. Someplace they can go, and that's why I enjoy doing that, because I know that people can read about it and go themselves and see what what, if anything, they come away with. So I love to do that. The more public, the better. Right. But I don't often get, if people tell me public places, it's usually about the ones I've already been to. Right. Except for Henry, the donut shop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, that's amazing.
And I do know that there's been a couple different groups that have investigated the place. It's not a real big place, but, it's a pretty neat thing to do, I guess. So I'm planning on maybe trying to get into it.
And think about the how they could do this. It'd be like your choice of 3 donuts
yeah.
fresh made.
Yeah.
Paranormal, you get to be there for, from 12 till 3 in the night. I mean, they could really make something out of that besides dough.
And I do know that there's a
special ectoplasmic filling.
There's another little town out here called Riley, which is up toward Oxford. There's a little pizza place there, and that place is supposed to be haunted also. So now we got donuts and pizza.
I am so with you.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry, Henry.
Even go to donuts first and pizza after. I'm open.
Okay.
That'll work for me, Henry. Let's do it.
All right, Craig.
Karen, you don't have to, you could actually write a book about domicile hauntings, not in the idea of like an expose, and I'm not saying your books are like an expose, but like you say, right now your books are all about public places that people go to, but at least in a more of a evidentiary kind of a book, indicating we're not alone. There is something beyond our own perception, and sometimes within our own perception, and go that direction.
See, I'd love that, but it's really hard, Jeffrey, to get that kind of, to get publishers in line with that. A lot of times they really are more looking for
sensationalism.
Well, no, I'm not even going to put it that way. What I'm going to say is that when I first wanted to write a book about this whole thing, the paranormal, was just because since I was little, I've seen stuff, heard stuff, whatever. And I was like, I would love to just latch on to a ghost hunting group or a psychic or something like that, and just tell it from my everyday Joe vantage point, to tell what I thought first before I went in, just to sort of lead the way, and also, like you said, to just show that it's, it can seem, and you know what, even for me, you guys, I have stuff I've seen, I've heard things. We all come to that point in life where you sort of can't help but wonder, is this finite? Is this it? I know, for many people it's not often or whatever, but I think it's really beneficial for people to know it is infinite, and it is, there's so much we don't know, but so much of it is good. Which I guess one of the biggest things I've learned from doing these books is so much of it is good. So much of it is helpful and hopeful.
It is. Well, I'll let you know that I'm kind of in the process now of putting a small group together to do daytime investigations. So
you're speaking my language.
I'll put you on the list if you want on.
At the top. Wonderful.
Uh,
My nap for it, even. Okay.
Yeah, I've got a couple others already on the list. Bob Nichols, who is in the chat room, he's on the list. So,
Yay. Other like-minded, tired people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Craig, you got some places you want to talk about before our show runs out?
Oh, I did, but you got me so freaking hungry for pizza now, Henry.
Donuts.
Donuts, I don't care. If anybody lives in the Williamsport, Pennsylvania area, I'll pay you to bring me a pizza.
Boy.
It's like 15 miles. Just drive it up.
That's usually how it works. You have a pizza delivered and you pay for it. That's usually how it works.
Oh, man. Yeah, I could go for both. Really. Henry, it's your fault. Is it because it's your birthday? What's going on? Yeah, you're really on the food tonight, Henry.
Why, sure. That's what your book's got in it.
Of course, apparently Bob Nichols is recommending celery on your pizza, but I'm just saying.
I'll be on the way to Domino's after the show. But no, I do have a couple places I'd like to talk about that really intrigued me in your book. First one is the Promont House. Did I pronounce that right?
That was the next one I had on the list, so go ahead.
He managed to jump, Henry.
I got you, Henry. For once.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, that's one that she had a picture of, and that looked like a creepy place.
Oh, yeah. I would. These places I would love to just spend the night in.
Yeah. So what goes on there?
And what's with spending the night? Listen, let's go back to the daytime. Bada bing, bada bang. Go out and have pizza and donuts.
Okay, if I'm driving out that far, I'm going to be there during the day. So, but.
I mean, I was not able to go in. Now, I did talk to people that actually one of the fellows did a tour there, and this place is as haunted as it looks, and it's so how do you put it? It's not the medieval isn't the word, but it's an amazing looking place. They had yeah, very good. Thank you. I have to write that down. Exactly. They had I would say basically not so friendly of the haunting. So I do not know if you'd want to stay over.
Yes, I would.
No, you know, those are the famous last words. That's all I'm going to say.
That's all TV.
The people that have done, it's a very historic house, and the people that have done the tours have heard, again, when, you know, the tours are done and they're up doing whatever on the second floor or third floor, they hear the footsteps coming up. They hear, you know, and voices, random voices. The one tour guide fellow, the bed, he had a group of people in where someone committed suicide, sadly, in one of the rooms, and he had them all in there, and they're all excited, and, you know, and he's telling them about this and whatever, and the bed kind of moved, you know, up and down the mattress, and no one was on it. And from what I heard, it was like a race for the exit. So I don't think people wanted to jump into the bed, but, you know, there's some people here that might want to. But it's a classic historic house, but I don't think they really want too much. Let's just put it this way. I started it thinking I would be able to have a little more leeway into it and get to go in, and I ended up putting it in because it is so amazing looking, but I did not get the support that I would have liked, you know, to really go full throttle. Right. So for some reason they were pulling back from that angle. So to me it's sort of a bittersweet sort of place that's in the book.
Well, now, is that just like a museum, or, you know, you can tour the place and that's it?
Yes.
Okay.
And they have, you know, artifacts or whatever, but like I said, you know, and I understand it. I get it. I get that there's some places that are like, you know, I don't want this advertised as such, or the community doesn't, you know. I mean, it's sort of a smaller kind of feel community, whatever the reason, but I did feel disappointed, I guess, that I couldn't. I really feel that's an incredible place, and that could really have been amazing if I could have gotten in there, but I respect them, you know, that's their choice. They were very gung-ho before, and of course when I go for it, they're not. That's just, you know what, that's what you go through. I've had so many people say, I want you to do this, or, I mean, and people at big organizations, and I'm not going to name them, in big places that you would recognize, that were like, come in, yes, we'd love this. And then I get, a call right before I'm ready to go. Nope, it's no. Well, why? Nope, it's no. We're not doing it. So I mean, there still is a vibe about the paranormal in some places that they just don't want it. At least not me writing about it sometimes.
Craig, you got another one?
I do. The Southgate House.
Which
That looks like a really cool place.
is closed.
It's closed?
Craig, good timing.
So what you're saying is I'll get busted breaking in?
No.
I'm kidding. No, I would never do that. No.
Well, I think any place you break in, you could get busted, but that's just me.
Oh, didn't
No, I would never do that. No.
Didn't they just recently close that?
Yes, and it was tragic. I mean, everyone here in Newport, Kentucky, for people that don't know, and I mean, amazing house. Richard Southgate, the Larry, he had the whole darn block there in Newport, Kentucky. It's incredible. The woman that was watching for her husband who worked on the riverboat, she was up in the Widow's Peak, and she saw that it sank, and she thought her husband was on it, but that wasn't the right one, and she hung herself.
Ah.
Did come home, and the place was haunted by military people. They would see them in the bathrooms. The woman constantly, she would open the doors, she would go up and down the stairs. In the Widow's Peak, people would think they saw her, but sadly, yes, it was a huge music venue, in the Cincinnati, Newport area, Kentucky, and it closed on the 31st.
Right. It just recently closed. Yep.
Yeah. So it's a bummer because it was amazing.
Oh, man.
One of the reasons I wanted to do it, as we talked about before, is because people could go there. You'd see that, the best in kind of indie eclectic music. They really supported the arts. I think, from what I hear, they're going to be opening in another, venue, but I think the Southgate, home for whatever reason is closed indefinitely.
Right.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Now, the other place that really caught my interest was the story in your book For Rent, which proves that even though there's another house there, that maybe the energy is attached to the land itself.
Exactly, Craig. And you know what?
I thought it was a great story.
Thank you.
Which one is this?
It's called For Rent.
It's in Waynesville. Again, we're back to Waynesville. At the place with the great antiquing and great food.
Yes. Uh-huh.
It's this normal-looking Rambler thing. You would never, ever even do a double take at it for any reason. And yes, what stood on there before was the house where the man, the axe murderer, he killed 3 people. And no matter, they said, the story goes, no matter how many times they tried to clean the floors from the blood, get the blood out of there, get the whatever, the 3 women were killed, and they were relatives of this fellow, Willie. And no matter how many times they tried to clean it up, and it was gone. I mean, you either clean it or you don't, it would reappear. And then they just tore it down. Finally, they went, forget it. So they put up the Rambler, and the same things are going on, just like you said, Craig. And it's they've seen the people in the period of clothing. They've heard the axe fall, people that have rented in there, and it's continuously for rent. It will not. People even that rented for a year, they're out in a couple months. I mean, it's like, no, I'm out of here. Obviously, I mean, and I think that's another point. It's so much in just the air around us, in the land, in the what. It's not, you look at some places and go, oh, I know it's haunted. It just looks so haunted, but so many times, like when I was a child, the place I babysat at was in a new development, brand new. That place was the most haunted and most I've ever been a part of. Okay, ever. It was incredible. So it isn't all about what it looks like. It's fun when it looks, cool, like Promont or whatever. But yeah, and I still, I haven't been out there in a while, but I need to go to Waynesville. I need to check out the Hammett House again. I need to check out the Ferrant House, Angel of the Garden, which is also out there. There's so many areas.
I
many
do have that one written down too, so we'll get to that one a little later.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, you just don't know. I mean, it's You can't tell by looking on the outside. And people that had no clue about the history, none, were like, okay. This old, or this young woman and her daughter were in the kitchen when I was doing, dishes and walked up to us in old period clothing. So, I mean, it's just there. That's why it's so amazing. You just don't know.
Now, do they let people come in and investigate because they can't keep any tenants there, or is that pretty much off limits?
The fellow that I think it's off limits, and it was. I don't know, but when you hear stuff, you guys, you kind of you get your brain that way. But the fellow that showed us the place and showed us all around there did say yes, it's very hard to keep it rented. And I wrote that book. It came out in 2008, Cincinnati Ghosts. So I don't know if it's been bought or rented. If it's what its history is right now. But you've got me really curious. I'm gonna have to check.
Good.
So my question is, it's not like an intelligent haunting, though. It's just the etheric playback, apparently, of the axe falling and the people being killed. It's
almost
not
like a residual.
Yeah, a residual haunting as opposed to an intelligent.
It could be residual, but what was interesting was, I don't know, because of the, how people react to whatever is going in front of them can be from either way. And I did not hear enough. That's a really good question. I did not hear enough from the fellow that showed us around to verify whether it was residual or if there was interaction. I did not hear there was interaction, so it probably was residual, but who knows? I say that and then it'll end up being the other way.
Now, there's a couple in here where they weren't homes. One is a spooky bust in Spring Grove Cemetery, and it was called "Are You Looking at Me?"
Yeah. Well, I came up with that because that was lot 100, by the way. That's where it is. If people want to go. And by the way, you should anyway. Just if you want to see, especially, well, actually now it'd be cool because of the winter and the thing and the amazing buildings and the landscape is insanely beautiful. But when we went to this bust at lot 100, I got out of the car and that's what came into my head. This guy, it was like back and forth. Are you looking at me? Are you looking at me? He has one of those, it's one of those things that people kept saying, those eyes follow you.
Follow you no matter where you're at, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, and people had said they felt things from there. I mean, that whole cemetery is incredible.
It's an old cemetery, yes.
And it was built, whatever the typhoid or whatever came through, so they had to, sadly. But they did it you guys, back then, people went to the cemetery to, have picnics. It was that beautiful. The mausoleums are breathtaking, I actually found myself thinking I want to live here. Not now. You know what I mean? But it's that beautiful and serene, and they have a zillion different kinds of trees, and it's an arboretum as well. But there are things going on. The mausoleum thing, that's where some of the funerals were held. It's amazing. It's amazing to stand there and look up at that. It's worth going just for that. And people have sworn they've seen, if you go on the steps, which they have blocked off, and I understand now, but if you sat on the steps, you see the beautiful, pure white dogs running up and, what do you want? What's next? I mean, just these visions, from this place. I know my son, one of the pictures in the book is of my son when he was, I think 10. He came with when I went through to get the photos. And he was standing at where they loaded the caskets, and then they would raise up. And he was little, and he felt creepy. And he's like, something's here. And my husband, too, is like, I swear I see things in that photo. And it was, you just got a feel of either, it's not horrible, but it was a little different than reverence. It was different. The whole place is got a feel of either, it's not horrible, but it was a little different than reverence. It was different. The whole place is most of it is reverent. You feel like this is a beautiful place. People jog through there, like I say, they picnic. But there have been stories of groundskeepers seeing hands coming up through the soil and things like that, and how old it is and all the stuff going on. And the Lot 100 thing, it's just worth going to for the history and for who knows what you'll see or feel. You know, I mean, there's so many things to look at, and just it's a gorgeous example of what a cemetery should be.
Well, we do know that when I was looking at the picture, that the picture itself just looked totally eerie and spooky all by itself. And I tell you, the book you need, if you don't have it, go out and get it. It's called Cincinnati Ghosts. There is a lot of great stories in there, and if you're in the southern Ohio, southwestern Ohio area, it's a good book for you to travel around with and looking at the different places.
Thank you, Henry. I appreciate that.
Now,
I just want people to, if they can have the chance to go to these places, that was my goal, and just read the background a little bit and just appreciate sort of, you just don't know.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Now you had another one in there, and it's called Lonely Rebecca.
Oh, my woman. Yes. That has stuck with me, you guys. I've lost countless nights of sleep. I felt extremely touched by this. It's in Mason, Ohio, whatever.
No, there was an A in that word. I just.
Well, some people say it's weird. It's Tea Rose's gift shop, and it's tea and gift shop. And yes, there's food, Henry, which now I know why you picked it. But it used to be the chocolate morel, and it went through several lifetimes, let's put it this way. And Rebecca was a woman that lived there. Her husband had this built for them. He married her and had this place built. It's beautiful. I mean, I think it's, if you count the basement, it's 4 stories. And like I said, it's right in downtown Mason. And the story goes that she really did not leave the house. She would sit up in this room with the fireplace and look down, and she knew everybody. This is, back then, knew everybody's name in town. She knew what they were doing. She knew what they looked like, and she would just sit there, look out. And they say she did not leave the house. We do not know why. We don't know if she had agoraphobia, which is the fear of doing that, or if her husband Charles just wouldn't let her go. We don't know, but the point is she didn't. And it was so big and massive and whatever. They had a caretaker that lived in the house as well, him and his wife, and they also had a barn. And one night they were woken up by the screams of Rebecca, and she was, what they found when they went up there was she had been beaten completely. I mean, you wouldn't even know it was her, by a piece of wood from the fireplace in the room that she always sat at, and her husband was not there. And all of a sudden, the caretaker couple's like, of course, freaking out. And they go down, and he's coming in, supposedly, from the barn, and he's covered in blood. And he said, well, it's because it's so cold, and, everything out there, my skin just broke open, whatever. The point being, it is widely believed that he killed her. And he was never prosecuted for it. They tried, and it got to the point where it was ridiculous, and they let him off on reason of insanity. So she died, obviously, and he died fairly soon after, and they were buried together. And I went to the cemetery where they were buried, which is right down from the house. And that is what I believe, and the woman that I talked to that owns the place now, Tea Roses, believes that's why Rebecca is still hanging around the place, the house, because of the tragedy of why would they bury her next to the man who murdered her. So if you go there, we've heard from a woman that owned a gift shop there, or, gosh, I can't even remember what it was. It was some sort, I think it was a gift shop. And she said, I don't believe in ghosts, and she happened to be there when Doug and I went and interviewed. And she said, I don't,
The Tea Rose's tea room?
Yes. And she said, she said, I don't believe in ghosts, but I saw her. Which is very interesting to me. She's like, I saw her. She was in full black, standing at the top of the stairs. Over and over, they see Rebecca at the top of the stairs. Also, at the cemetery, which is like a block away, the cemetery keeper was in there one day, and a woman came in dressed in old-fashioned dress and said, can you tell me where Rebecca, is buried, if she's in here? He said he turned around to look in the thing, turned back around, and she was gone. And then he went to the Historical Society a couple weeks later. It wasn't right away, so, it was highly believable. And her photo was on the wall. He said, this is a woman that was just at the cemetery asking, where Rebecca was. And they said, she's been dead for, many, many years. So Rebecca is hanging out there, according, to the people I've talked to, and lawyers had the place. They had strange things happen. It hasn't always been an open, business. Chocolate Morale restaurant was there, and now it's Tea Roses. And there's been issues with every person that's been there that I've heard of, that she's there. She hides things. She's seen at the top of the stairs, this and that. And I really can't help but wonder if it isn't because of the tragedy of her being buried right next to, the fellow who basically killed her.
Right. Well, now, is that place open to be investigated?
Go to Tea Roses. I mean, I don't know about investigation, but, again, which I love, the woman who owns it is very protective. She does not want, they do believe someone else besides Rebecca might be there, but she does not want
somebody to come in and check.
Yeah, well, she doesn't want the, they're so protective. I mean, she just wants everything okay.
No, that's great.
And she did have, I believe, one of I can't think of the group, Anomaly or whatever, they did go through and they did get stuff. And a TV station did as well, local. But I don't know recently she's...
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there's some groups that go into a place and provoke and change everything, and they aren't respective of the spirits.
Exactly. And boy, like I said, it's amazing how protective, these people are. And what did happen there, which I find interesting, when it was the Chocolate Morale, a woman came, I want to talk to Rebecca, and they're like, lady, what are you going to order for dinner?
Yeah.
And she never, there was no Rebecca thing, whatever. And when she walked out, she said, I'm going to go gambling. And I want your luck. I want something to happen, whatever. And I think she won like $7,000.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's interesting little things all around it.
Huh. Maybe I'll go up there before I go gamble.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think about it.
Our time, again, tonight is just shooting right on by, for some reason.
Which is why I want to bring up, before we leave, Bob Mackey's place.
Yes. And that's over there in Kentucky, probably close to you.
Wilder.
Yeah.
And it's named appropriately. Yeah, Bobby Mackey's, it's one of those places that has this unbelievable story around it, and it's actually earned. From people I've talked to, from Victor Peruta, this guy's been everywhere. He said one of the most haunted places, period, Bobby Mackey's. And he's had to actually, help someone that was, the devil took them over, and he had to work with them to get that out. That place is absolutely frightening from top to bottom. It started out as a slaughterhouse, and it ended up as a country bar that's, staying alive, hanging on a rope on the weekends. Great country music with Bobby Mackey and everything, but it is, technically speaking, with the occult in mind, it's a mess. I was uncomfortable there. People that I talked to that had experiences there were uncomfortable talking about it. But there were some, you guys know what I'm talking about, like Donna, who runs it, who are just like, I tell them, don't mess with me. And they don't. People that have, if you go in at all wishy-washy into that bar, you don't know what you'll come out with. It's frightening. They believe that a woman's head was in the well she was sacrificed in Pearl Bryan, and that her head, where the slaughterhouse in the basement, there was still the well where the blood was, and that her head was in there, and she was murdered. And she was from Indiana. But all these people that came in from all these different places, Buck, had the place for a while. He owned it. He was a mess. His dog is seen constantly. It was a place of things that weren't good. I really did not see anything of where it was of, joy and kindness and whatever. It's not a good place. So Carl, the caretaker, I'm sure everyone knows this. He was completely taken over satanically, and he almost didn't make it. And they did. There's every station, okay, from UK, here, wherever, you name it, that does anything paranormal has been to this place. And every place has come away most likely with something that, is, potentially evidence. All the stations around here have, gone, oh, it's Halloween, we'll go there. Their battery packs are drained. They can't get in there. It's like things go on that bad things happen. So it's one of those places where I would say, if you want to go in and you want to have a good time and hear some honky-tonk music and everything, go ahead. But don't do it lightly. The thing on their door, they had a dude come in. He just bought a new outfit, cowboy hat, everything. And he went to the bathroom, ordered a beer, went to the bathroom. He was beaten up. His clothes were completely torn. His hat was whatever. He was absolutely shaken to the core. And he sued Bobby Mackey's, okay? And he did not win, but Bobby Mackey's lawyer said, this sign needs to be erected here, and it basically says, if you come in here, we want you to know this place is purported to be haunted. If anything happens to you, it's not on our dime. It's your, willingness to walk in the door, and it's right in the place where before you act, that little area where you first walk in, and
right.
Then there's that other door, and it's posted there, and it's been there for years, and there's a reason.
Wow.
Yeah, it's. I have everything for it, and I don't even understand it. When one of the visits my husband and I paid, we drove back, and apples, the scent, it was the middle of winter, apples was permeating the car. We had no windows open, no anything. I have not read anything about it. I did everybody I interviewed, no, not with the, but I was like, Doug, do you smell it? And he's like, yeah. It was just, it's real. That's my honest opinion. Something's going on there, and I don't like it.
So you forgot about the hot apple cider that you had?
Oh, that's what I had, not a beer. You're right. That's what I always order, Henry. And pizza. Seriously, I'd say if people want to go and they're listening to this and you get to Wilder, go for it. The music's fantastic. And, it's just a honky-tonk and it's fun, but don't challenge it. Don't, pregnant women have had issues and, there's just issues, just
Karen,
respect it. Yeah.
Bob, the chat room indicates that the Bob Mackey's warning sign has been kind of stolen, although they put up a new one. But apparently the original one got heisted.
I wonder if someone had a little too much apple cider.
Yeah, could have been.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what the place might have done to him at his house once he got the sign home?
Exactly.
That was what they called a hard apple cider? Is that what it was?
That's what you call a dumb cowboy. Or whatever. That's all I'm going to say because you're exactly right. I wouldn't mess with it. That's what I hear over and over. Don't mess with it. You go in, you treat everything with respect and go, okay, I don't know what's here and it might not be that great, but I'm just going to have fun and leave and you're okay. Don't steal the sign, people.
It looks like it's a pretty big sign from the photo in your book.
It's actually, and it's semi-large, and it's, what do you call it? It's like encased in that, vinyl. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The thick.
Yeah, it's sort of like twice the width of a newspaper page, or about the width of an open newspaper.
Yeah, and it's got the plasticky stuff on it so it doesn't run or whatever with the weather. So whoever did that, that's very interesting. That could be a book right there.
Uh-oh.
Who took the sign and what's happened since?
So Bob also said he had a group member got taken over by something at Mackey's. Said it was intense.
Yes, he did. I remember who that was too. So
So, Henry, it looks like you guys have a live investigation to do show there, maybe.
Well, Dave has been down there and put it on Parax Vision before, a couple times, matter of fact.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did he get anything? Oh, I'll have to look for that.
I don't know. You have to look and see. I watched some of it, here and there. But, they run it pretty much all night, and they do catch stuff sometimes.
It'd be, we were lucky enough. I went there several times, and I was, there on a private tour with my husband. And it's, well, obviously, and we also went when it was full, but it's creepy. Plus, it's old, and you got all that going on, and it's a former slaughterhouse, and it's dusty, and the basement, you guys, there's stuff in there, oh my gosh, that you could imagine from like your great grandma's basement, and it's all just piled up together. It's just insane.
Right.
It's amazing.
Well, now, since our time is running right on down, there's some others that I had on here that we probably won't have time to really talk very much about. One of them is called the Blue Tower of Sorrow.
That again is in Waynesville. And that was an underground railroad house. And it, at a time it was with a fairly well-to-do family in Waynesville, and it's still blue, which is interesting. Very, well-to-do, and it was on the underground, like I said. But what happened there was one of the, I believe, one of the maids or whatever killed herself. And since that time, we don't know why. I mean, at least the person that I talked to that brought me there and told me about it, they did not know why. But, obviously it's tragic, whatever, whatever causes something like that. And just ever since that time, people that lived in the house were unsettled, shall we say. Things would happen. It was turned into a nursing home, believe it or not, and kind of refabbed, and things were closed off and whatever. I mean, at one time it was so grandiose, it was gorgeous. And the nursing home thing didn't go so well either. I mean, it was just, there was just stuff going on. I mean, even like people would claim like stuff was coming from the ground or whatever, and there were daisies that would come up in one place and not in another, and it was they believed that there were bodies that were buried in the basement of it. So it's one of those that right now, I can't say now. I mean, I did the book in 2008, but it looked like it was hanging on by a thread. I mean, like any home that's had things go on and changed and, and tragedies and whatever, it looks sad.
And nobody's put any upkeep into it.
No, and the fellow, that brought me around, he was very upset about that because I believe they took out like stained glass windows. I mean, I think it was at one time absolutely magnificent, and it served a beautiful purpose, and it was there to help, and it just sort of, it just went kind of into this sad zone, and, people hearing things, seeing things, and whatever. And, plus, I mean, it's a nursing home is always sort of a little depressing. I mean, I know they're necessary, and, but.
Right.
So to be turned into that was sort of sad, too.
Well, Karen, I want to thank you for taking the time to be with us again tonight. Our time, is dwindling right on down. I'm going to let you give everybody what your websites are and how to get your books. And if they missed the show on when we had you on with the Dayton Ghosts, I still believe that you can go to our site and listen to that show.
That's great.
So
thanks, Henry. And, happy birthday. We're almost to midnight.
Yeah, almost to midnight.
Oh, Carol, man. To get my books, you can order them from me, KarenLaven.com. You can go to any bookstore, in Amazon, any of that, and it'll be there, Schiffer. And, to listen to my stuff. I do talks. So I'd be more than happy to talk to groups or whatever and, sell my books after. So, again, just contact me through, www.KarenLaven.com with an E, not an I. And I'd be, more than happy to, talk with people and, investigate new things and whatever. I'm wide open, and I really appreciated being on here. It was a blast, both times.
Oh, you'll be back.
Well, thank you. It was our pleasure.
Yes, it was. Now, I want you to stay on until after we get off, and we'll chat with you. Jeff, you want to give out our stuff real quick, like?
Absolutely. You can certainly find the Paranormal View on Facebook. Just look it up, Paranormal View. There we are. On my website, jeffgould.net, GEFFGOULD.net/2011PNV.htm is my Paranormal View page on my site, which has reports to each of the shows we've done. In fact, this show will have the report on what we talked about tonight, links to the different places Karen has spoken about, links to her 2 books, Dayton Books and Cincinnati Ghost, as well as the embedded podcast when that gets on the air. And I also have a link to her October report, and probably will have at least a link to that podcast as well, because that was just so cool as well. So also, if you want all your desperately needed Paranormal View attire, you can go to cafepress.com with the Real Badger Shop, all one word, Real Badger Shop. That should be Cafe Press. I'll make sure I'm saying the right thing. Yes, the Real Badger Shop. And Henry and Craig Rupp and I will each have our own profiles on Facebook, so drop us a line now and then. Yay.
Yes, sir. Do that. Or you can also go to theparanormalview.com. That's our other regular .com site, and we list the shows and about us and everything dealing with the Paranormal View. Next week, I will be live at the Morrison Masonic Lodge with Dave. He's going to be doing it on ParaX Vision, and we will be there also with Amy Bruni and Chris Williams from Ghost Hunters. So listen next week. We should have a great show, and we'll be interviewing a lot of those people if we can get to them. I'll also be down there with Bob Nichols here from the chat room. He'll be down there also. So till then, we got to run. This is Henry Foister,
Craig Rupp,
Jeffrey Gould.
And we will see you next week at the same time. Thanks, everybody, for listening tonight.
We're leaving. We're gone. Paranormal View. Come back and visit us again if you dare. You've been listening to the Paranormal View on the ParaX Radio Network. The Paranormal View.